For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder, and his name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah 9, verse 6. When you're done putting up your Christmas tree, what is your Christmas topper? Do you do the angel? Do you do the star? Something else?
Right now we have a star with like a rotating light thing. But one year I put up a Rancor. Like holding on like King Kong.
I was not expecting that. Lance?
Well,
I mean, I know his answer.
yeah, I like the angel. I think angels are just pretty. I don't have a problem with the stars. I've done both,
Yeah.
but I prefer to have the angel. Just because I feel like it's more like a star. Obviously, the star is symbolism for Christ and, him being born. But I feel like for maybe like a non-believer, they just be like, yeah, a star on top of a tree and not really think too much of it. Whereas you see an angel, then it's like, well, it's obviously for Christ, right? So I think that's why I kind of like it more, because it's a little more blunt.
Yeah,
It's Christ Day.
I like the star. I have the star. We've always had the star. It's a white star. I don't do the multicolor thing. We used to have one that was multicolored.
Well, ours is like, it's like blues and whites, so it's like cool colors. So it has like the lavender, blue, kind of more wintry feel.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I dig that.
My brother, actually, he put up a picture of his dog that just passed.
Oh.
And he said she's the star this Christmas season. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's sweet.
That's cute.
Of course, we have multiple Christmas trees throughout the house. I don't have the tree in the loft does not have a topper.
I don't think you're supposed to. I mean, I'm saying you don't have to, but I feel like
Is there
if
a
you
rule
have,
book?
no, there's no rule book. But because as someone who has had like a tree upstairs or a tree downstairs, or like there's always the main tree, and I feel like that tree gets like the star
Because you have the tradition of putting it on
Right.
last.
and then the other trees are just like, those are just the whatever trees. Like, sure, you can put ornaments on them or whatever, but they don't really get a star because it's just like,
yeah,
this is the secondary tree.
I've got a Spider-Man tree. It's all Spider-Man ornaments.
That's exactly where I was going, because since it's in the loft, our loft is Star Wars video games and stuff. So there's a lot of video game and Star Wars ornaments on the tree, and it's a black tree, by the way. So the Star Wars ships, and it looks like space.
Okay.
Almost. But I do have a big Death Star ornament. I do not have the Death Star tree topper, but it is one of those Hallmark ones that they talk to each other, so they're linked up. So it plays Star Wars movie quotes, and the TIE fighters go.
I think if you were to put a topper on the
Get
tree,
to the topper.
it would be like two lightsabers crossing or something, to be like, because it's almost like a star, right?
Yeah, that works. Yeah, I missed out on the Death Star topper, but it's not a big deal. And of course, we have this little one. There is no star on that. This I do feel is unnecessary.
Well, you can't. Well, can you even put stars on the little guys? Because I feel like it would
bend
turn
over.
a Charlie Brown
Yeah,
Christmas tree. Be like,
Well, the Charlie Brown Christmas tree is okay too.
Is it? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, poor Charlie Brown. Welcome to our Christmas special for 2025. We're just going to be talking about Christmas, the reason for the season, and we'll be talking about some secular things as well. But essentially, this is just our Christmas special, just a cozy Christmas special. There will be no new episode the week of Christmas or the week of New Year's. This episode may also be a little extra long to help make up for it, and you've got plenty of time to not only listen to this episode, but to catch up on all of our past episodes. I'm Blade O'Neill, and joining me as always is my brother Lance, who's going to say hi to you and look in the camera,
Hello.
and Dustin C. Smith.
Hi.
I loved what you told us about in the episode that never aired. That was one of my favorite Christmas facts, and I would love to start off with that, because Jesus is the reason for the season, right?
So
and I just think it's fascinating.
so we had an episode that was where we shared some reels that we liked and kind of talked about what we were kind of worried about. If we aired it, would it be able to stay on the air for copyright reasons and everything else?
Because we played the reels in real time.
And then talked about them.
Pun.
And they unfortunately all had music in the backgrounds of the reels.
So that made it even worse. So we recorded this episode and we scrapped it. Will we release it down the road somehow, some way? Maybe. I'm looking into it.
It was a good one. So
It was.
I'll be looking forward to that hopefully being released at some point.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
one of the reels that I was sharing was, and I can't think of who sent it or who it was talking, being on the spot, but it was talking about the nativity scene, talking about the manger in particular, where a lot of times with the nativity scene, it's, you see the little wooden manger with the bough of hay and a baby gently laying there in peace and harmony and goodwill towards men. And they were talking about how actually the manger was it was a stone,
Like box.
yeah, like a box, like it was made of stone rather than like a wood thing. And what they did is they were taking the perfect spotless lamb that was placed in there so they could use it later for their sacrifice, because during the Old Testament times and things like that, that's how you atone for your sin and everything else. So they would take it so it would be protected, one, from the other animals and from harm from predators. And so it was fitting that when Jesus was born, he was placed in this manger as a foreshadow to him being the pure, spotless, sacrificial lamb for our sins.
Yeah, and one thing that they sort of mentioned in the reel was when the shepherds and whoever got there and saw the baby Jesus laying in the manger, they knew that. They knew what a manger was for, the purpose of the manger. So they put that all together, and it must have been mind-blowing for them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the other part of that too is, he's in stone, and when he dies, he's in a tomb, right?
Oh, interesting.
It is covered in stone.
Wow.
Right? He rolled the rock back, so it kind of also plays on that.
Yeah.
And he's also born in Bethlehem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which stands for Bethlehem, meaning
I don't know.
the house of bread,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
So then he later
I didn't
says,
know that.
"I am the bread of life," right?
Wow.
So then there's that whole connection too, right?
Absolutely.
So the manger, the baby, born in the house of bread.
Mm-hmm.
He's the life, right?
Yeah.
I just thought that was cool too.
That is really cool.
Well, there's a lot of good kind of foreshadow with the whole surrounding the birth of Christ, and with his being crucified. So like one of the main ones. So you have the Magi, the three kings that came to bear their gifts, and the symbolism of that. Obviously, so you have gold, which was the symbol of Jesus' royalty and kingship. Frankincense, which is traditionally used in worship, and highlights the divinity. But what kind of struck me was myrrh, which is very fragrant. If you've ever smelled it, it's very strong. And they would use it to consecrate Levitical priests, but it was also used as burial ointment. So during the time, you would anoint this oil on the dead so it covered up the smell,
yeah.
Right? And it wasn't mentioned in the Bible from that point until he was on the cross, where it was on Mark 15:23, where they gave myrrh mixed in with wine to try to offer to him to help ease the pain. It says it was also like a numbing agent. So they offered it to him, which he refused, but it was myrrh. So it was almost he was given myrrh at birth, and he was given myrrh at death.
Wow. Well, forgive me for not knowing, because that is something I either forgot I knew or didn't know at all. There are verses where they are preparing the body of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Does it mention myrrh in any of those verses? I'm going off the cuff here.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
It almost makes you wonder if it did happen, it wasn't recorded or something.
Or it wasn't.
Maybe
It
that
wasn't
is just-
enough to
Yeah,
have it written down like specifics.
but maybe your instance of it there was, the foreshadowing come true, and maybe that was that. And that was just completely.
Then I was reading somewhere. I don't know exactly what it is, but so going back to like Isaiah and everything with the foretelling. So they were, the Magi, like where they're from. They were talking where these prophecies were taking place. Those individuals were from there as well. So when it happened years later, when they saw the star, when they heard about this and the angel coming, they knew what it was, and so that's why they headed there.
Wow. Yeah.
So, but I don't know all the specifics, but maybe you can comment because I can't remember off the top of my head.
Well, and speaking of the stars, I was under the impression that, because you know how you can trace the way the stars align, that they went back and however it was, like during that time in which we think Jesus was born, there was a star just like it was described in the Bible.
Yep.
It's like all of these things that like we have just this evidence of, and like how can you?
And one thing I was thinking about today too, when you're in relation to him being born
Mm-hmm.
and then him being crucified,
Mm-hmm.
was that there was the star, right, and the bright star in the sky when he was born, right? When he was born at night, obviously, because that's when you see the star,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when he dies, it's during the day, but the star in the sky is blacked out. So it's like literally the opposite, right?
Yeah.
The sky is dark and there's a bright light in the sky. Now there's bright light and the light in the sky has gone dark, but it's bright out. Like it's daytime, but it has blotted out.
Well, it's kind of like the light has come into the darkness, and
then now that he has spread his light,
now we're snuffing out the light by going to the cross, bringing the sins, the darkness.
right?
He took that to the cross,
Mhm.
and then when God cries out, why have you forsaken me? That's the first time Jesus is not right there with God. God forsook him in that moment, right? 'Cause why did he do that? At that moment, he had the sin of the world right there, and God cannot be in the presence of sin, right? So that kind of stands to reason that at that moment, there was not that direct connection to God. Do you agree? Disagree?
To an extent, I know the reason why he was saying that. Why you're forsaking me? He's quoting. He's quoting Psalms, yeah, and so he's basically showing. He's basically proving to everyone like this is coming true. Like I'm in. Basically, he's in worship. Because we're like, well, why even on there is he forsaking God, and why is he? Does he not know the plan? Does he not know the divine plan? Why is he saying why forsake me?
Yeah, it wasn't in that intention.
And, yeah, it was. He was actually quoting that thing, which is so it's like so I see in addition to
because then goes down, pulls everyone out of
Gets the
Abraham's
keys.
bosom, gets the keys to Hades, and essentially, right?
Yeah.
And brings everybody back up.
He had a busy 3 days.
Busy 3 days, but who knows how long it was
yeah.
from that perspective too, which is also an interesting thing to kind of, I guess, deep dive into. But that's not
Future
probably
episode.
Yeah. So just another thing about that again, the symbolism of his life and death. So when he was born, they were trying to kill him from the second he was born.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Before he was born.
Before he was born, right? So like King Herod was just like,
Can't have this,
right? And it's kind of crazy that it happened since he was this thing just popped out, and it's like, kill that thing, right? And then when he dies, obviously they're trying to kill him, right? So it's just your entire life of just the world trying to kill you, trying to like snuff out the good. It's just, to me, it's just kind of wild.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I knew that, but I never really put a connection between like, the beginning and the end, right? It's the alpha, the omega, right? The beginning and the end.
And then there's also like that symbolism of they're trying to find a place to stay, and then there's nowhere to stay. But then they have to go out into
a barn,
right? And be born into a manger because the world's just not ready for God. It's like rejecting him before he even comes.
Well,
Just like he's like cast outside the town, essentially into a barn.
Well, yeah, because I mean they had to travel from where they were because obviously they weren't married yet, or they were, and she was already pregnant, and so they had to get away before people would notice she was pregnant. So they had to flee and come to a place where no one knew their circumstance or knew anything, and then to be shut out of everything because maybe everything was full, or maybe people just didn't want to take them in.
yeah.
But it was almost like, to me, it was almost like nobody had a place for God. So they kind of cast him out, just like when he was killed. He was killed outside the gates, right? And the world shut him out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing. Like when he was born, nobody wanted to take in that child to be born, and he was just in a barn. And then in death, nobody wanted him around, and he was cast out into death.
Well, and I think there's something to be said too, is like, Jesus often said, like, the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, right? There was he did a lot of servitude type things, right?
Yeah, he didn't put himself on a throne and just sat there and everyone came to him.
Exactly. It wasn't this whole big royal birth and celebration, right?
Yeah.
So as far as the sort of humble circumstances, I guess you would describe it, it sort of goes with it.
Yeah, but I also think
the people
the
were
people-
expecting. They were expecting
people
like a
should be expecting. There's a reason. Some people did show up, and I don't think it's a coincidence that it's only the wise men who come to see Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's the world.
and the shepherds.
It's the rest of and the
All
shepherds, and the rest of the world just like, oh no, I got to throw him in a barn.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, like, that's a representation, I think, of the world.
Absolutely.
Well, they're expecting the glitz and glamour. They're expecting the Messiah to
warrior.
come, or to come on a flaming chariot, like, or just something like big, huge, like the clouds open up and it's just
Overthrow
like, here,
Rome and start a revolution.
Yeah, well, they're expecting like this warrior, not a baby.
Not the carpenter's son.
Right.
Wow. But I mean, but that's the thing with the Bible is we talked about biblically, figurative, and literal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But also the symbolism often works on many levels, right? It's the living word of God. It applies to so many things, and like in that, like, it's just, that's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What else you got?
One thing I forgot to talk about with the myrrh was, so we were talking about, the covering up of the death, but like the other kind of, what it also represents is holiness, purification, and resurrection.
Okay.
So that adds to it as well.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that little bit on there on the end, just because I forgot. I don't want someone being like, you forgot to mention, and
Well, you sent me this reel, and I never. Perhaps it was. I don't want to say obvious symbolism, but when Abraham goes to sacrifice Isaac, I never realized how much it was essentially directly the crucifixion. The Father led the Son to the sacrifice. Who carried the wood?
The son.
The Son carried his own
cross.
his own
Yeah.
cross, his own like the platform in which the sacrifice would be held, right?
Yep.
This was your reel. I don't know if you want to.
No. And then it ends up being, because God goes like, let me do it. Take your son off, let me do it. But he did it several years later with, by sacrificing his son.
Well, and it doesn't even stop there. The reel went on to say, like, what happens? Like the lamb appeared, right? What was it caught by? Its head in thorns.
Thorns. Yep.
I got chills. I'm wearing a sweater, but it's there. Perhaps it was so obvious, and maybe like, oh yeah, of course, who didn't know that? But like, I don't know.
Well,
like,
I don't think it's
There's parallels.
Yeah, there's parallels to it. I don't think it's 100% obvious, because I think
I'm glad you said that.
Well, I think when you're reading it, especially because you're reading it and it's happening before,
Mm-hmm.
you're also taking it for what that verse is, which is also like he wanted to for you to prove your faithfulness by that you were going to do it, but you're not going to do it.
Yes. So I'm stopping you.
I'm stopping you. Be like, no, okay, now go do that.
Because he did present a ram and everything else that happened to be there. So
I think, obviously that's not the only thing, right? But there was parallelisms.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely.
And it's, how
I think I saw that same.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I might have. He
there
said
was
it to me. I don't know if I forwarded it to you.
No.
Okay.
No, because.
And then you forwarded it to me, and then you just forwarded it back because I couldn't remember if I forwarded it. I'm just kidding.
Which very well could have happened.
That never happens.
You have your people who you send your memes, your Bible verses,
your
reels.
But the worst part of that is I just feel like they're not watching what I'm sending them. Then I'm like, I sent you this.
Well, sometimes I forget.
No, I know, I'm just kidding. But
the best is when you send it right back. Like I'll watch something, and
I've done that,
and I'll send it, and I'll look, and I'll be like, oh, I just watched it because they sent it to me. I'm like, they would like this. I'm like, duh, they sent it to me.
Or you see a post from someone like, oh, such and such were like this. Like, oh, wait a second.
They posted it.
But we're thinking about each other. That's what matters.
Yes, it's the intention.
Should we talk about Christmas?
I thought we are talking about Christmas.
Oh no,
right?
I know.
I know. We
kind of went off a little bit
but
I'm just saying, like Christmas itself, like modern with like. Maybe
Christmas is here, and often, Christmas, it drives me nuts that Christmas is often accused of being a pagan holiday. Now, to be completely fair, I know it is a pagan, like, A, no, it's not. But B, to show I'm being completely fair, there are things pagan in origin, such as the Christmas tree, mistletoe, the wreaths, that were commandeered for completely different reasons. And yes, the church did want to turn people away from pagan ways. However, it's not a simple yes or no answer. It's actually a very complicated answer, and the answer is actually so complicated from what I understand that we're not going to have time to go down every single little avenue. And I know people are probably freaking out, leaving comments and arguing, and come on.
Well, I think it's almost like a 3-part kind of discussion, as far as you have the pagan side, you have the Christian side, and you have the commercialism side. So like, it's almost like, as opposed to almost want to kind of push out the, like, is it a pagan holiday, or has it become like, is it a Christian / commercialized holiday, so to speak?
I mean, obviously the secular world does want to take Christ out of Christmas, right? I mean, look at something as simple as people trying to say happy holidays, and a lot of people
or Merry Xmas.
And that's another one that honestly drives me nuts. Most people celebrate Christmas, and even if you're not a Christian and you're celebrating Christmas, and like, you're still going to say happy holidays, like for what? To include these other holidays that almost nobody celebrates. And I'm not talking about Hanukkah, because obviously Hanukkah is a great holiday, and we stand with the Jewish people, and that's a celebration that should be appreciated. But why is it always Christmas that is the problem to talk about? Nobody is trying to censor any of the other holidays. I mean, I know we know the answer. I'm being slightly redundant.
It's the biggest threat.
It is a threat, because it is the truth. So I don't buy that happy holiday stuff, even in the context of like, well, I mean it for Merry Christmas and
everything
New
else.
Year's. No. Merry Christmas. Are you taking that day off? Merry Christmas. You're not celebrating it? Okay. I hope that the day in which Christmas is celebrated, that particular day is good for you. And I do mean that. Am I wrong?
No. I think it's... people are just silly, in my opinion. The world's just silly. They're just a bunch of nonsense people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just say Merry Christmas. It's okay. I mean, whatever. I can't be bothered.
Yeah, I'm all about saying Merry Christmas. So, but yeah, so generally around Christmas time, that is like the winter solstice.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pagan holiday. Was it Saturnia or Saturn something?
I mean, one of the
different ones, like Roman holiday. Yeah,
absolutely.
And
but cultures throughout the world had winter celebrations or celebrations
Yeah.
during the solstice and whatever, like that just happened
Yeah, and so
everywhere.
Yeah, and so basically the church kind of said, let's have Christmas be on the 25th
Mm-hmm.
to celebrate that, because that's, the day after, like the shortest, supposedly, the shortest day of the year, with the birth of Christ, who is light of the world. So like
Mhm.
having that be the brightest, from that point on.
Yeah.
Right. And it was also a way to kind of commandeer, but also kind of cover up, to almost be a distraction, to be like, well, all this celebrating this, here, come celebrate this. We're going to do it this way. So we're going to take the same things we're using, like the tree, the wreath, and kind of make it our own.
Yeah. So in that regard, there are those origins there for sure, but the symbolism has been commandeered for good.
Yeah.
Right. And there were also I hesitate to say overly legalistic churches, like I think the Puritans did try to not have those things in Christmas.
Like
what I'm
Christmas
talking
trees and
Yeah,
stuff. You're talking
yeah,
about like decorations.
yeah. Yeah, mistletoe, and
Well,
holly.
So the way the trees kind of were, so like Romans started by decorating trees with their pagan
Yeah.
type stuff, and then when it came to Europe, they were bare. So the trees were bare, and it wasn't until the 1600s when Martin Luther first started adorning, like, with candles, so kind of representing the light of the world. So it was the first, and then the Germans are the ones,
How dangerous!
right? Dry Christmas trees with
How
like
many
lit candles.
fires were caused because of that? Sorry, Martin Luther.
And then it was Germans actually started with like the whole idea with ornaments and the ornamental type thing. But yeah, it's just kind of, and then so, what is it? So, candles and lights represent Jesus as the light of the world, and light triumphing over darkness. The evergreen trees were used because they, like with most trees, they go through seasons and fall and lose. So like evergreen represents like everlasting life. So like, cause they're a year round tree, they never, they're just green. Right. And, the overall shape of the tree is a triangle, which also you kind of look at it as, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So kind of like representing the Trinity. It's like another way of just kind of like, let's throw this in there. It represents the Trinity. It's that sort of thing.
And obviously it's what they made it. Right. And this is still a very human construct.
sure.
Right. Like the Bible doesn't say you shall put up a Christmas tree.
Right. But it also doesn't say that this is evil.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think for so much, to me, Christmas is no different than everything else in the world. It's about, one, the intention of it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
For two, if it's not against anything really that the Lord is saying, then it's probably going to be okay, right? And especially whether it's like in a general way or in an exact way, like do not lie, right? Even obviously you're not doing that, but I think part of the problem is, as Christians, we don't want to be like the world, because we're called to be like Christ, right? Not like the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of Christians, because so many people who aren't Christians do celebrate it, kind of get scared, like, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah,
so then
if they're celebrating it, why am I?
Right. So then like it's almost like red flags go off.
Yeah.
Like, well, if they're celebrating, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe this is evil. Then you almost try looking for reasons to like demonize it, right? Which, yes, Christmas can be very materialistic, and as long as you're not, falling into that or idolizing Christmas for the wrong reasons, then it's fine, right? I think.
Yeah, there's a fine line between like what is innocent, young child, like innocent about the season, the kind of fun, as long as the root behind it, the cause behind it, the stuff kind of we talked about in a prior episode of like having those traditions, doing different things, making cookies, things like that towards, but you have people on the other side that are extreme in every little thing because it's not, they're like, oh, it's evil. You can't.
And make sure you have Christ at the
Christ-centered.
center.
Yeah.
Which is important. And, going off the Romans had a celebration to their false gods. it sort of shows you. I don't want to go off topic too far, but if you ever read Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, the book is intended to create an intellectual reasoning for why God exists, right? You know, from his standpoint, and one of the things he pointed out. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at him.
Okay. Is that we seemed like even before Jesus, we had this like God-shaped hole inside our hearts that we've tried to fill in different ways, you know, whether it be idols or making up gods or whatever. So it, you know, having the Romans doing that also kind of sets this up, because so just make sure that you're filling that hole you have in your heart with the one true God, Jesus Christ.
Well, it's such a common thing too, and you hear it from so many people in the world, especially those who aren't of Christian belief, where, you know, they feel sad or depressed or whatever, and it's like they feel like they don't have a meaning or a purpose, and it's
an empty feeling.
It's an empty feeling, but it's part of that reason is if you don't have Christ, then when I look at my life and the things that I do with my life and everything, I always try to, you know, just put some perspective into being into other people's shoes. Like, if I was on this earth and I didn't believe that God existed, yeah, I think I'd probably be depressed too, because what's the point of any of this? Because anything I'm doing then means nothing.
Absolutely.
I'm just here, a piece of flesh to just
that's if you're being
do whatever
completely
I want.
Intellectually honest with yourself.
Yeah.
With that belief.
Right.
Because you say like, no, of course I have a purpose. And like no, you're not being intellectually honest with yourself, and you have to drive that thought all the way to the end.
Yeah, it would be a sad life.
Yeah, honestly. and morality would be relative. Simple as that.
Yeah, 100%. But to pull everything back onto topic, because we just went on a whole nother rabbit hole here. So back to, you know, how the world views Christmas. I think it's just important as Christians that we, you know, the world warps things all the time.
Absolutely.
And we do things all the time that the rest of the world does as Christians. And again, it's how you do it. Like, I mean, something as much as like eating too much food, right? Gluttony is a sin in itself. Like, obviously doesn't mean you can't eat food, right? It's just kind of like the same thing like with Christmas, right? It's okay to celebrate Christmas, but if you're losing sight of what the true meaning of Christmas is, then yeah, it becomes a problem. Or alcohol.
And on the gluttony thing, having a feast with your friends and your family is not gluttony. Feasting does not necessarily equate gluttony. I mean, even Jesus, one of his first miracles was turning the water into wine. Yeah. Like, he was there. There was feasting. Like,
right.
That's okay.
But everything has like a limit, right? So everything's good to an extent. So like what you was talking about, right? And so like, I think what he means by glutton is like someone that's just constantly overeating for the sake of overeating and just kind of becoming that, rather not the act of having a feast itself, but just
which is kind of like my point with Christmas. Like, it's fine to have Christmas, but if you're just so about like Christmas and the presents, and then it just turns into something that it's not, right? You're spending all this money on all this stuff, and it's like, well, you could be using all that money to do either good, and like you're kind of, you know what I mean? Like, it just turns into this like selfish, materialistic.
Like the kids that want the most expensive thing. I want the gaming system. And then you're sitting there as a parent going, well, I don't have money for all this, so now I'm going to have to work these extra shifts. And you're totally missing out on the Christmas season because you're working overtime because you're like, ooh, I get the time and a half because it's a holiday. I'm going to work on Christmas. It's a glutton in that sense, to where you're just
and it's also kind of like the iPhone thing, right? Mm-hmm. iPhones, they're great. Could have the Bible on it. Could have whatever on it.
Well, they're not great, but it's gone.
Smartphones, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're all the same thing. They have access to like everything, right? Bible, our podcast, right?
Plug.
But it also has access to things like pornography, right? Or people on the internet who want to say hateful or mean things on Christian podcasts, or no, I'm just kidding. But it's, again, I think the biggest thing with the world is things are, just as God said, right? Things are, you can do whatever you want.
It's available.
But it's about what you're doing with that thing. Mm-hmm. It's not just, certain things aren't inherently evil. it's
It
what
could be twisted for
it could
evil.
be twisted for evil. Sure, a lot of things can.
Yeah,
be.
everything could become evil.
Right.
Depending on how you use
Music.
it.
I mean, music. We can sit here and worship if we want to be like, hey, you want to sing some songs? Well, we have an opportunity, right? We could either sing about Christ, worship God, give him praise, or we could just start saying crazy, evil, hateful, music that is spreading hate and separating people, right? That's not what we want. So it's like kind of the same thing in Christmas. You could use it to spread love in Christ, or you could be materialistic and kind of go down that road.
Mm-hmm.
So is Blake going to sing this episode?
Yes.
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
I'm going to keep trying.
But I just think there's so many things in the world, right? Between that we've kind of mentioned that's like, don't get lost in, oh, Christmas is evil, I shouldn't do it, and if it's a problem, and that's not saying, hey, if you don't want to do it, then that's fine, don't do it. Not persecuting you if you don't want to do it, go right ahead.
No peer pressure.
Yeah, but also don't persecute people who are doing it, right? I think it kind of goes both ways, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't make majors out of minors. Right? It's not a big deal. It's a minor issue. If this is our biggest issue about should we not celebrate Christmas or put up a tree, I think we're kind of full of ourselves saying that we're not dealing with, pornography or lying or all these other sins or idolatry or whatever else, or materialism and stuff like that. If we're so perfect that Christmas is our biggest issue, I don't think so. I think we all have bigger fish to fry in our lives.
That's a great point.
And I think that's what is really hard with, especially with social media and with our access to the information world and everything, is everyone is there on a spectacle for everyone, and so everyone seems to be, I don't know how to say it, like it's the judging thing. So like looking at everyone and every decision they make, or oh, look what they're doing. Like I'm almost having this I'm better than you. Like look,
Right.
Well, my family does it this way. And
Yeah.
so it's just people have this because they're hiding behind a screen and they're secretly judging everyone, whether it be high profile people in the news, media, politics, music, Hollywood, us, things like that. Like just looking and be like, well, what do they know? What are
Right.
So it's
Everyone thinks they're an expert on the internet,
and to
they
be honest,
rarely
none
are.
of us claim to be experts. We're just
Absolutely.
giving our personal opinions on the matters.
Absolutely.
So don't be like, well, actually, guys, this is the paganism of, it's just,
Well, I think we've been
Festivus.
I think we've been completely fair to anything of pagan origin. The debate, because I was doing research on for this episode, and it's just crazy to me. Everyone's arguing and like, well, they're presenting this fact and this like, well, this was celebrated from December 17th to the 23rd. Well, actually, now we think it was to the 25th, and like we're arguing over these semantics that A, don't matter, and B, we're talking about just these different solstice festivals when Christmas, whether it commandeered elements of other things or not, is still about Christ.
Yeah.
It's still Christ in origins, about
That's why
the
it's
celebrating of Christ.
is the
Yes.
beginning part of the word.
Yeah. Really, what it comes down to is people don't want to celebrate a holiday about Christ. So they do these mental gymnastics to find excuses on why it's wrong and can't let other people just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or celebrate it, because they just don't want Christ to be celebrated. It's the evil in them being offended. Yes, I'm calling all of you atheists out to get your theological opinions on Reddit because you read one post and 2 Bible verses out of context.
Yeah, that's just the typical world where the world will deny him no matter what.
Yep.
And it just shows more evidence when you have all these people attacking the Christian holidays. But
Only.
you never see them attacking the other holidays. Be like, well, you guys shouldn't actually, this holiday, like
You
nobody
attack, you attack any of the other ones,
you
it's
don't-
like, well, you're not being tolerant. Where's the Christian tolerance?
yeah,
Where's the Jewish tolerance? Because there's been a lot of anti-Semitism actually, going on in the world today. I mean, even the day we're recording this, there was an attack in Australia, and like, God be with those people, but they were attacked celebrating Hanukkah.
yeah.
It's
sad.
terrible.
It is terrible. Those poor people.
I really brought it down there.
You
Kinda did.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I wasn't gonna
Sad.
bring it up, but I felt moved to, because it's terrible. You know what's happening in the world.
Well, it's just lawlessness and godlessness is really what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
But back to Christmas.
Back to Christmas.
Do you have any other wonderful facts for us?
Because
I mean-
if you don't, I prepared
Why don't you throw
some questions.
We can do a question.
Okay. I know half of Lance's answer,
Huh.
so I'm going to start with him because it's
You know all of
why
Lance's
does
hours.
why does every question you ask, you're like, well, I know Lance's answer.
I know
so.
Lance's answer, so I'm gonna answer for him.
well, some of it's because I've known you your whole life, and
Fair.
some of it is we've done other podcasts and had other Christmas specials before. And yes, I think I'm pretty sure I'm ripping off this question, at least half of it, from an old podcast. Favorite Christian Christmas song and favorite secular Christmas song. I'm saying I know
Wow, you
half of
didn't-
your answer.
You didn't.
Okay, we're
you didn't
going-
give me any
Then
time.
we're going
I wish
to
I knew this beforehand.
we're going to
Um,
Dustin then.
I think I know it anyway. Silent Night
Okay, yeah, that was
is-
my
is-
favorite
is
Christian one.
favorite Christian one.
And I thought it was going to be cliche,
I don't think so. I just think
but who cares?
it's
right?
a great song.
It is a great song.
Just because it might be like one of the most popular. There's a reason why it's popular, right? It's a great song.
Do you have a version in
If
particular?
I knew, I do have a version in particular, but I couldn't tell you who it was. I
Mhm.
just know when it comes on, I'm like, this is the version. And I'm definitely the kind of guy who, if I hear it, I will maybe give it a couple seconds, and I'm like, no, got to get my version. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
but that's with like any song.
Yeah, and
That
fine.
could be a Christian song or a secular song.
there's-
If I'm like
there's
not
great
feeling it, I'm
versions.
like, okay, well, no, I want the version that I know.
Mhm.
That, not saying it's better, it's just better for me, you
Yeah,
know.
Absolutely. You're allowed.
But favorite, I don't know.
Well,
Does it rhyme with Bam?
that's
Just
that's the band.
Oh yeah, but it's their song.
Yeah. It is their song. And I don't know if anyone plays Whamageddon, but my wife and I lost yesterday or the day before. My favorite secular Christmas song is Blue Christmas by Elvis.
Elvis.
But
Good one.
I love Elvis, especially his Christmas songs. While Lance is thinking about his secular one,
Are we doing
do you got?
secular or are we doing
both.
Oh, both. Okay. So my Christian one it's called, and my wife loves it and we listen to it all the time, is I Celebrate the Day by Reliant K, which is kind of they're kind of like a Christian Blink-182 kind of punk
I could see
kind
that.
of.
He played it for me before.
And
before this.
so just the main chorus and why I like it is because it kind of goes back to the scene in the manger, and like I'm kind of thinking like through the eyes of the Magi or even the shepherd boy, and it's just going to look back and think that this baby will one day save me. The first time that you opened your eyes, talking to Jesus, did you realize that you would be my savior? And the first breath that left your lips, did you know that it would change this world forever?
Hmm.
And so just that part right there, just like, and it repeats, and it's just swelling, melodic. It's kind of like we were talking about. Is it like the Mary Did You Know?
Yeah,
type
I was gonna say that it reminds me of Mary Did You Know, but instead of talking to Mary, it's talking to the baby Jesus.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's reminiscent.
Yeah.
I would say lyrically anyway.
And then my secular song would be I really love Carol of the Bells.
Oh,
Like the
I was not expecting that.
and just the dun 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 dun, dun. And then even when the was it Mannheim Steamroller kind of does their version of it
I
with
think
the
so.
rocking, like, and just
It's either them or ELO.
Yeah.
Is it Mannheim?
it's Mannheim
Yeah.
Steam. Is it Steamroller or Steam?
Yeah. I think it's. I thought it was Steamroller. If it's-
Now I'm saying it was myself, but the original version I like just because of the voices of like the children singing, like
yeah.
and it's just
yeah.
so because I was trying to find a second one because there's so many like Christian ones that I love. Like I
Of
love
course.
Holy Night. Like that's probably my other favorite before this
that's
one. You know,
that's great, and I just thought it'd be interesting to see the secular song and versus, because I listen to both, and on our Christmas list, like we do have both, and I don't think there's any problem, having
no,
secular Christmas songs on your list, or just listening to it, and just like we were saying, it's
it's
what
such
you make
great
it, right?
holiday music, because it's the only time, because I remember growing up, like in elementary, we would have our Christmas pageant, or we would have our thing, and it was, you would have the, up on a housetop, and like you'd have Santa Claus type songs, but then you would also be singing these Christian songs where, like,
And
nowadays.
are you talking about public school too?
Public school.
Really?
So we would sing like, like Silent Night.
Yeah.
We'd sing Oh Holy Night.
Interesting.
Obviously the Hallelujah chorus. Like even in high school, but even like in elementary, we would sing these Christian songs, and like I look back now and I'm like, you would not be able
They
to
would
really
never
sing
do that,
those.
no. I went to, or so did Lance, to Christian private schools up until high school. So, I mean, we had the Christmas pageants.
Well, you went up to high school. I went to middle school.
You dropped out.
Well, no. Wait, you what?
Well, 6th grade. Then I went to public school after that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I thought you knew.
I thought you knew everything about me.
Right.
I knew
It's
that,
okay.
but I
It's
didn't.
because when he was a teenager, he was like, I don't like him anymore.
Well, no, it's the half thing, right? Because he said, I know half your answer.
Of the answer.
He knows
doesn't
half
know
your
the other
education.
half.
He knows half your education.
Oh, wow. I never
Put that
put
together.
that together. Like,
Yeah.
I knew that, but I didn't like consciously know that. That's really interesting. Huh. I don't want to go into a whole conversation
There is a
about
whole
going
Wow.
Did you ever participate in Christmas pageants in elementary
Absolutely
school?
Oh, in elementary school.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But was it just like singing in the choir because you had to, because the whole class?
Of course, I
had to do
never
it?
volunteered myself to do any of that. I never
Oh,
never
okay.
wanted to.
Okay, I did.
In fact, I was always the person that was like, I want to do the least amount in whatever it is that you want to do. Because I remember one year going up on stage, and I think I was maybe one of the wise men,
Really?
like one of the 3 wise men. But there's no lines. You just like go up on stage and then you just like kneel, and then that's all you did. And I was like, this is perfect for me. That's all I want to do in front of a crowd of people in 3rd grade or whatever it was.
3rd grade,
Maybe 4th grade.
Interesting.
No, I think
Yeah.
it was like 3rd. No, 4th. It was 4th grade.
For Christmas plays, the only one I remember, not just being in the choir. Well, actually, that's not true. But the only one that was the nativity scene, I guess, I was a carpenter at the shop talking about Jesus for some reason, and I was sitting there making a toy for Jesus. I really don't know why.
I actually, you know what's weird? It's like I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
But
But the entire time, like I had this like table in front of me. I was just pretending to build stuff until my part came, and I got through my lines, and here's the toy thing I'm making for Jesus. And then this person who asked me about Jesus like moved on, and so the rest of before and after that, I had to like improv, just being there building stuff. So
What were
it
you
wasn't just
building?
kneeling. They just gave me like all these pieces of like
Right, but what in your mind were you building?
I don't know if I actually thought about it that far. I just wanted to look busy, like I was making something. So like I remember taking like one piece of the 2x4 and then having another one, and then like retaining the hammer, and then like looking, kind of measuring, and then I would like take it apart and like do some other
So you made a 2x8.
or a right angle of 2 by whatever. Anyway,
So
way off the rails there.
my I think
You found
I
your song?
feel like I found a song that there's so many that I like. I feel like I'm missing one, but I'm just gonna go with
Blue Christmas.
just a Holly Jolly Christmas by Burl Ives.
That's a good one.
It's just a happy song,
It is.
It's like good vibes,
Yeah.
like have a holly.
Well, and some of it too, I think, is also like memories, right?
Well, that's a
watching
big thing.
Rudolph.
So many of these songs is just nostalgia.
Yeah.
Really, it's like, oh, when I hear the song, I think of this Christmas, or I think of this time, and it's more of that than anything.
I usually think of like, what movie is this from? Like just whether it be Die Hard, or Christmas Vacation, or even like Home Alone.
Home Alone,
You know,
yeah.
like all the different.
Wow.
I knew you were gonna say that. I was like, Home Alone's coming.
It's coming. Well,
Rudolph was a big one for us growing up. And
Yeah,
I
it
feel like
was
we watched it
frightening.
like every. You know, I have the claymation-ophobia too, but like for some reason in Rudolph, it does not bother me.
No. The snowman guy.
Oh,
Is the
Bumbles.
Yeah, he's frightening.
the abominable snowman or the
Yeah.
actual
No, the abominable snowman.
not the jazz guy.
No,
going,
no.
Hey, Rudolph.
He's fine. But it used to scare me. Like when I was a kid, I would be like, I remember
We had
you
two
sit there
things.
watching it. I'm like, I want to hide because I was that scared.
Was it the roar?
It was just everything about him. I was
His
like, this
face,
is terrifying.
his mouth.
Because then when you see the reindeer, they're like, oh, their eyes are like freaking out. They're so scared. You
Well,
know,
also,
it's
he's
like,
trying to eat them.
yeah, right. It's terrifying. And then especially, you know, I'm sure at some point I saw, you know, a few minutes of the episode of, you know, Mad TV doing some claymation. Then it's just like, okay, this is even worse now.
Maybe we found the origins of
or
our
or
phobia.
or you attach it to like Empire with like when they're on Hoth and the snow beast,
The
Wampa,
Tauntauns.
the Wampa. No, the Tauntauns what they were. It's a Wampa.
Well,
The
I
Wampa
see.
who have
I
rips
thought
off.
you were
yeah,
talking about how the Tauntauns were claymation, but yeah, I totally forgot
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, absolutely.
because that looks like a kind of a abominable.
Looks like
snowman.
Bumbles.
Yeah.
Bumbles bounce.
in stereo. Yay!
I can tell we were raised together.
Unfortunately. No.
Unfortunately,
Wow.
well, only till 6th grade. Because after that, he doesn't remember.
No, I didn't put it.
He just didn't think about me then.
Yeah, I didn't think about him. Once again, I know Lance's answer. Real tree or fake tree?
Okay. So,
Oh,
as somebody who has never had a real tree,
Mm.
I'm gonna be honest, to me, it's kind of hard to say one way or the other since I haven't had a real tree. However,
you don't remember there being a real tree?
Okay.
the 1 year.
okay,
that
I do
having
kind of remember that, but not really. Like I was too young for me to give an opinion on it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, from a child's point of view, that's kind of like almost irrelevant because I'm not even
Yeah, treats a tree.
tree. Yeah, right. But from my perspective, since I have the ability to get a real tree and I always refuse to, I'm going to say fake tree. Now, for me personally, one, I'm kind of allergic to pine, so I don't want it in my house. So that would be annoying. And for two, I don't want needles all over my floor. And I know you kind of get it sometimes for a fake tree, but it's definitely not to the same extent. And nor do I want to worry about watering it
And
and,
it's
everything
sharper.
else. And
Well, we live in a desert, and it's much harder, and they get much drier, and it's that much more of a fire hazard. And it's funny that you said you're kind of allergic to pine, because when I put up Christmas trees, I think I'm allergic to whatever like flame retardant is on it, and my hands get all itchy when I put up fake Christmas trees. But I'm still in the fake tree boat.
I think it's circumstantial. Like growing up, we always had a live tree, being from Colorado, and we didn't go as far as like chopping down our own tree, but it would stay longer because colder winter type things. But yeah, it was hard to always remember to water, and then obviously all the pine needles but it's something about that smell, like just having that like next to the fire, not that close to the fire. But, just the you walk in the house and you have that real pine tree smell as opposed to the fake scent or
I was gonna say you can put like a little like
I know you
the
can,
little
but
scent
like
thing on there.
actual from life, like having that smell. And
I'm not going to lie. I also do not like the smell of pine. So
I was gonna say that next. Like it's
I'm
okay.
gonna take back your no, just kidding. But now where I am now, obviously, living in the desert, but at the same time, I am a cost-effective type person, and the idea of you buy a tree and a fake one, and you can have it for years to come. Like our first tree, I found in a dumpster.
Your first fake tree?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, just dumpster diving because you find some great stuff, but it didn't have a stand. It was missing the legs, and so I had to like rig it with a bunch of rulers and yarn, and I found a tree stand and got it all attached, and obviously it didn't stand up straight, but we had that for probably the first 4 or 5 years we were married.
Wow.
It was just, and it was an $80 tree that someone threw away because it didn't have legs, but we made it work, and it was our tree. And then now we have a different one, but it's just nice to be like, put it away. You don't have to worry about vacuuming the floor or watering or.
But then the other thing is, if you have pets,
Yeah.
pine needles can be, I'm pretty sure they could be
toxic
to certain animals too.
I don't know the answer to that, but I mean, sounds good. Somebody is
One less
correct.
One less thing to also
One less
worry
thing.
about.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Or
Or
you know,
smell. I hate the smell of pine.
well, those pine needles are sharper.
Well, yeah.
They're really sharp, especially when
Yeah,
they're
they'll poke
dry.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when you get itchy, when you get poked by them, especially when
Yeah.
you're trying to reach in.
So I was going to ask if anyone had little funny Christmas stories, but I'm gonna start since we're on the topic of these trees here. The one year I remember growing up having a fake tree, it was up on a table for some reason. I'm assuming because of the height of it, but it was decorated. And I believe it was Christmas Eve because we had family over and our grandmother was there. I don't think Lance remembers this or if he knows the story that I'm about to tell. We had on the table some Christmas cookies. I think they were Entenmann's, and they were butter cookies in different shapes. So there was a Christmas tree shaped one, I think maybe like a Santa head or something. And I turned to my grandma and I asked, what is the Christmas shaped cookie taste like? And being sarcastic, she just said, it tastes like Christmas trees. And I was like, oh, well, me being about 4, like, well, what do Christmas trees taste like? She said, I don't know. Why don't you go find out? So she was not paying attention to me. Nobody was paying attention. I got up. I went over to the Christmas tree that was on the table. I grabbed it and I pulled it to my mouth, and not understanding physics, the whole tree fell on me.
But did you taste it?
No, I was worried I was going to get in trouble.
I was near the build-up. I was waiting. Okay.
You would think that you would try the cookie to find out what the tree tastes like, instead of trying to taste the tree to find out if you want the cookie. As
I remember, she said, why don't you go find out? So I wanted to see if the cookie was worth having then at that point. I recently told her the story, and she did not remember that and was surprised.
She was probably telling you to, why don't you just eat the cookie to find out, not why don't you taste the tree to find out what the cookie.
That's true.
No,
But
he was 4.
my 4-year-old logic went like, well, let's go see if the cookie is worth having.
So would the Santa Claus one would have tasted like Santa Claus?
Oh, no. It's a mouthful of white beard.
I know.
Anyone else have a funny Christmas story before we do some more of these questions?
I don't know if it's funny, but I remember one time I had come home from college, and we would normally just decorate the tree out front because we had a large blue spruce, and it was so many lights because it was so tall. That's all that we would ever decorate. We never decorated the house, and my mom didn't really like decorating the house because she didn't like the idea of putting holes in the house, or some people have hooks just to put it up every year. One year I came home from college and I thought I would do the Griswold thing. So she was at.
What does that mean?
Have you ever watched Christmas Vacation?
Once.
So you know how he decorates the house and it's like every 6 inches, it's like up and down the house, all over the roof. Like he covered the whole house in lights.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah,
A lot.
Yep. Got it. Sorry.
So I went to Walmart, or I went to wherever, and I bought a ton of lights. And so while she was at work, I spent all day from when she left in the morning till she got home at night, and I went up and down the house and even got on the roof, and I laid them on the roof. I didn't staple them to the roof, but I stapled them to the house, and she was so mad because I put holes all over her house. She's like, we just painted that house. But it was amazing because it was just like, it glowed, and but it was like such a bright house. But the best part though is I had to go back to school, and she's like, who's going to take down these lights? I'm like, I got to go back to school. And I left.
I'm assuming she did.
Or my brother had to, or my dad had to, but I spent all this time putting it up, and someone had to take it all down because it's the power staples, right?
Yeah.
So they're not like just quickly take them down. They were affixed to the up and down rows. Like there was probably, I don't know, about a 4-inch gap in between each
I
line.
don't want to dox anyone, but what was the house made of? It wasn't like a stucco house. Was it
No, it's wood.
wood?
Yeah,
Okay.
so there's wood paneling and, worried about, because, you paint it, it fills the holes, and
Yeah.
didn't want the idea of like water coming in, and
Well,
not that it was like big holes,
yeah.
but
I don't go that far. I mean, and the projectors today help so much. I've got that, but I like to have the icicles, around, and I just use the
yeah,
the nails that stay there. And they
I've
just
got bright blue icicles because I always wanted that blue color, but I always wanted the multicolor. But like I finally got the blue color last year, and then I have a giant AT-AT because if you know me, I love AT-ATs.
It's a Star Wars thing for those
Oh yeah,
of you who don't know what.
and it's
that
called
means.
an AT-AT, not an AT-AT. Just to
I
all that.
completely disagree,
Yeah,
but it's okay.
wrong.
It's AT-AT, or AT-AT, as my son would say. But no, it's AT-AT. It is even.
So what's the other one called?
That one is an ATST.
That doesn't make
Chickamauga.
any sense.
It does make sense.
That doesn't make
It makes
any
perfect
sense.
There's even a Kenner commercial that Anthony Daniels did where he actually says AT-AT. So an actual Star Wars commercial, they say AT-AT. I know they don't say either one in the movie, but in the commercial it says AT-AT. So it's fact.
Yeah, that's
But
not
how can
enough
you call
evidence for
one
me.
an AT-AT?
But I
I'm
mean,
not gonna
AT-AT
call the other one
and one-
AT
Well, why would you call it an AT-AT?
because it sounds cooler than AT-AT.
That's fair.
I disagree, but
I disagree too.
You can disagree.
However,
You can be wrong and disagree. That's fine.
however, I will concede the fact that in real life, sometimes we have these little acronyms and we'll say them, right? Like, I mean, we might say like HOV lane, right? But we have other acronyms where we say it as a word. So perhaps in the Star Wars universe, even if it's called an AT-AT, perhaps they're affectionately called AT-ATs. I think it's a possibility.
yeah, I mean, it goes either way in the real world, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, they don't even say ATST. They go Chickamauga.
No, they don't.
I know, but that's what
Oh,
people call
okay.
it now. They don't actually call it.
I haven't heard that.
So I don't really have a funny one. Well, I guess it's kind of funny. I'm just trying to think of something off the top of my head. So one time, and that was probably, I don't know, maybe I was like in second grade. I feel like maybe it was second grade.
Okay.
That's just what it feels like. But I was sitting there laying in bed, and I was just, it's Christmas Eve. I'm so excited for the Christmas presents and everything. And, parents like, go to bed. So I get ready, I go to bed. And I kind of leave my door. Now, I didn't close my door all the way. Like, I was like, I'm going to leave it slightly open. Not, but just enough that I can just see down the hallway and I could see the Christmas tree,
Well,
which is in the living room.
we shared a room up until a certain point. So
I think
were
it
we
was
still?
first grade. It was you were not. I don't think you were. I feel like you weren't above me because we had the bunk beds.
Well, what? Okay.
But it was definitely that bed.
So you're saying we had
I think you were in your room.
anyway?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
I was just curious.
I don't remember. I want to say you weren't, but I could be wrong. But I remember just laying there. The door's open enough because there's a hallway, and then it goes to the living room, and then there's the Christmas tree because I can always see the Christmas tree from where I sleep.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm definitely gonna watch Santa put the Christmas presents under the Christmas tree.
You thought you
I was
had
like,
it
I
this
got
time.
this. I'm like, one eye, just like looking down, like I got this. And I'm telling you, from my perspective, I blink for 5 seconds, not even 5, like a second, and then all of a sudden the tree's completely full of presents, and I was like, what? Like I was just like. Like I tell you, I felt like I was up for hours, and then I blinked, and it was probably one of those blinks that you fell asleep for like
2
6,
hours.
7 hours or something, because it was basically Christmas morning, and I was like,
That's funny.
There's no. I was just like, he did it. Like he knew I was asleep. He knew when I was awake, and I fell asleep for 2 seconds, and he just put it there. I was just like, I was so mad.
I'm curious if you remember this. When I was in second grade, he's 3 years younger than me. I was having my doubts about whether Santa was real, honestly, but I was really holding on to it, and I was asking questions like, well, how is this? And there was always an answer, right? One of my teachers was just like, I know you're all old enough to Santa's not real and stuff, and I feel like I was almost sitting there like, what?
Wait, what? Really? Dude.
But I was upset that like, you know, like I was like, well, thanks for, you know, breaking this illusion.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
I was worried about Lance. So that year I put a letter to Santa that I wrote in my second grade handwriting. I don't know if you remember this, but you know what else I did? Do you know what I'm going to say?
You autographed it?
Well, yeah, I did sign it, you know, the
Yeah.
best my second grade ness could do. But also I took one of our stuffed animals and I cut some hair off of it and I put it in a little Ziploc bag and I included it and I said this was hair
Santa's
from
beard.
Rudolph. No.
Oh. That's funny.
Because I wanted him to not have that illusion broke because I was like, wow, no, I gotta keep this going.
Yeah, I was going for 47 years, apparently. Not today. No, I have another kind of funny story. It's
Okay.
it is Christmas, but not Christmas. So I was on the swim team in high school, and we had to get up at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. for weights and swimming before school. And my brother was really a lot younger than me. And he would make fun of me because I had to get up early, and he didn't get to get up early. And I just hated that fact because I'm like, why does he get to sleep and everything else? And so one morning I got up at 5 a.m. Like this was like April, like sometime in April, and I went downstairs, or I went upstairs to his room. I'm like, hey, Chad, get up, Santa came. And he started running down the stairs and getting ready to open his presents, and then realizing that it was actually middle of April.
That's funny.
So because he was like half asleep, it was like 4 a.m. I'm like, dude, wake up, Santa came. And he's like, what? I'm like, there's so many presents. And I'm like, all right, see you, dude. I gotta go to swim practice.
Wow. Brutal.
Was it April 1st?
It might have been actually. It was sometime in April. It might have been April Fool's. Yeah.
Because that's kind of a great April Fool's prank.
Yeah. Because they're like half asleep and they're like, what? Really?
Last one. I think last one.
Sorry.
White Christmas lights or multicolored Christmas lights?
That's so.
That's a tough one.
It's because here's the thing. Like, it depends on certain times a year. I mean, certain years, like you're going for a certain aesthetic, so it kind of changes with the aesthetic you're going for. So I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong answer. However,
Of course, I mean, of course, there's not a
well, of course,
right
there's not a right, but I think when I see the multicolored lights, it's definitely more Christmas vibes, I guess. So I would probably lean towards that. But I do really like. I actually have. Well, you've been to my. I think you've both been to my house this year for Christmas. The front area where we have, like, when you walk in is all the white Christmas lights, right? And then when you get to the main living room, it's all multi, because I like both. So, I think I'd prefer the multi.
No, I agree. Although I say that, and I've been phasing out all of our multicolor lights with the white ones because I'm really upset with this trend within the multicolored light strands that have replaced the color orange with yellow, and it's just not the same. It's not as warm and inviting to me. So I do have that one multicolor strand, but I've just been phasing out. We're trying to do a more, I don't know what the word is, but we're going for a certain aesthetic, like you were saying, and the white lights were
Yeah.
working
Well,
better.
sometimes it looks classy. Like you just have.
I was trying not to say classy Christmas because I didn't want to come off conceited at all.
I'll say it for you.
We affectionately call it the classy Christmas vibes.
Like I said earlier, like mine are all blue right now. It's just I love the color blue, and I like once those
Blue Christmas lights are awesome.
once those LEDs came out and just how the blue popped.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would probably go multicolored. It's maybe not so much here, but like there's something about a white Christmas and the lights being covered with snow and just illuminating with the different colors.
Yeah.
There's something about that, like just
Mm-hmm.
going through. And if it's just white, you're just like, okay, cool, illuminate snow.
Right.
But like the multicolors and just seeing like the blue glow or the red glow and just kind of seeing that like that's kind of nostalgic for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, I feel like if snow is involved, 100%, multicolored lights is the way to go. But I will say, I absolutely cannot stand LED lights. purposefully don't buy LED lights
Yeah.
because I don't like how they
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
But that's just me. But I just cannot stand them. I will buy every year. I don't care. Non-LED lights, if they die in a year, whatever it is, what it is. I just cannot stand how it looks.
No, I agree with that. And oftentimes the color just seems, I don't know, like almost neon too much.
It does
You
have
know
a
what I mean?
neon feel to it.
Like
Yeah.
there's just something off, not as warm and inviting. It's distracting. I completely agree.
And then obviously nostalgia is also in there because they weren't around back then,
Sure.
right?
Right.
But
The incandescent lights have a warm feeling to them.
Mhm.
But I think objectively, like they don't look or feel the same.
no, it's too. It's got that like modern. You know how everything these days, especially like stores or buildings, is that like dead. You put no effort into design, modern, just boring.
Yeah, the architecture is
right.
just
I feel like
bland,
it's part of that too.
minimalist,
Like even
minimalistic, utilitarian.
it's part of that too. Like the lights itself too. It's just like, man, I don't really
Not feeling it.
not feeling that at
Yep.
all.
Yeah, architecture is definitely becoming a lost art, and I really think that's a tragedy. You know, I mean, it goes even further to things like furniture. You know, and if you look, I don't know if you noticed in here from you guys who watch this on YouTube, like I buy used furniture from antique stores and stuff, you know, for a good price. They don't make things out of wood anymore. It's all particle board veneer nonsense. But this is a topic for not even this podcast.
Nope.
Last thing before we wrap this up, because you know, Jesus is the reason for the season, but I love
What do you
the
mean?
feast.
But? I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm
no,
kidding,
well,
I'm
no,
kidding,
no,
I'm
but
kidding.
like one of my favorite parts, aside from that,
Yeah, yeah.
is you know, having food, spending time together. Is there a particular meal item that you look forward to for Christmas, or one that you had that like really stood out to you, or you know, or you're all about like Christmas cookies or pie, or is there a particular dessert or some sort of main course item that, you know, like maybe, for example, you always look forward to stuffing on Thanksgiving, you know?
Not so much food as far as like eating, but drink. Like, I always look forward to the nog,
Yeah.
the eggnog, and I tried making it once and it just wasn't as good. So like I have to get the store bought. Like I'm just kind of raised on the store bought, but I love the idea of like mixing it. So if you take Dr. Pepper and eggnog, so good.
Oh my
so good. Like,
gosh.
yeah,
I was not expecting this.
yeah. So if you basically do about three quarters a glass of Dr. Pepper, and then you top it off with eggnog and kind of mix it up a little bit. It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
You got to try. Like
that sounds like a lot of sugar.
probably, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's just.
I'm not hating.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
eggnog and soda are just not my thing.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just surprised.
But it's a good. Otherwise, eggnog straight. But no, I like mixing it with Dr. Pepper. It's my new holiday drink. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
found out about it last year, and I got excited this year when I saw the eggnog back on the shelf. I'm like, let's get some Dr. Pepper.
Did you post that?
Probably.
I think. Yeah. I think I saw that. I think it's
Yeah.
coming back to me now.
I'll come back to you now. The turn of the tide. Okay. Sorry. For me, man, when I was a kid, it would definitely be eating one of the Christmas cookies for Santa and like a little glass of milk. That was probably what I would look forward to the most for food.
Wait, you would eat his cookies?
Yeah, you make a bunch of cookies and you have one
Oh, okay.
or two, and then you leave out the rest for him.
Oh, so I thought you ate the ones you left out.
No. Now, I'd say probably making a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich in the morning after opening presents.
Interesting. Something we don't do it every year, but we did do it once or twice, I think, fairly recently. I really like the Italian thing for Christmas Eve, having seafood for dinner. In particular, one year I made I lost it. Oh, scallops francaise. But we live in a landlocked state. We don't get good seafood, very, very often. So, it's Christmas is often an opportunity. Like they'll ship in different stuff that's fresher than than usual. So it's an opportunity to have seafood. But I also really like the desserts and like just the homemade chocolate chip cookies. Or I know you guys don't like it, but I like babkas. I associate that with Christmas time. You can't beat a babka.
Are there nuts in babka?
No.
Oh,
It's just not very good.
okay. I haven't had it. I don't think I've had a babka. Did I have a babka?
I've put it out for
It's
like a
like-
game night, and I thought
Maybe.
Yeah, he did, and then you tried it, and you're like, yeah. I'm pretty sure you were like,
Okay.
eh.
must not have
Right.
been that memorable.
It
Yeah,
probably-
I'm pretty sure you were like, yeah.
It's like a dry bread.
You got me a dry, so that's.
No, you don't. I guess if you don't like dry things, you might not. I love babkas.
Okay. My wife makes a lot of good stuff. She makes a lot of like the macaroons, not the ones with the cakey with the frosting in the middle, but it's the coconut with the chocolate on the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
So she makes those kind of macaroons.
Yeah,
They're so
those are good. Yeah,
I love macaroons.
I love coconut.
I'll have to make some and bring some to you
Oh,
guys.
so good, so good.
She's gonna make them this week.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was thinking about making some chocolate chip cookies.
I think you brought
year.
us some recently. Maybe not
Last year.
recently. Maybe
Probably
it was last year.
last year around this
I
time.
think so.
year.
Okay, I was thinking. I was like, I think you brought some.
Yeah.
I just
think
didn't
about
feel like it was that long ago because I want to say it was kind of
That's-
within the last 4
that's-
months,
that's
5
how-
months, but yeah,
This last year was
Time
long.
flies.
yeah.
Anyone have any other thoughts or comments before we wrap this up?
I would like to say that if you, our listeners, have some of these questions like favorite songs, some of the favorite things, if you'd like to comment those, or
Christmas related questions.
or like a funny story, or just something like that, a memory from Christmas, feel free to kind of write those down and share that with us.
Yeah, or maybe a cool tradition that if you don't mind sharing it, that maybe either we or other people might see and implement into our traditions for Christmas.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you all for this entire. Was this the 9th episode? So we launched in October. So the end of the year, we started this podcast, and we had support before we even started this in so many forms. Following before we launched and help with equipment, the outpouring support has been incredible from people we know and strangers alike, which is just awesome. If you do enjoy this podcast, share it with your family, share it with friends. Don't forget to share it on your social media if you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and tag us too. I think all of our public channels should be taggable. I don't think we've had any issues with that. Especially on YouTube, we're currently on a push to try to get to 500 subscribers. So even if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, give us a follow on YouTube. What that does is getting to 500 subscribers is one of the requirements for monetization. And as of right now, this is completely deficit funded. Where this podcast is not profitable. Not that it's about the profit, but it'll be nice to at least break even. So we're on the push to break even. So
Be
that
sure
would-
to like, because that helps the algorithm for you and for us, and to get into other people's algorithms, and essentially
and
helps
comment
a lot.
and
Yep.
comment. We get good comments, and we get troll comments too. Like go in there and I'm not telling you to argue with them, but maybe talk to them. You never know whose heart you might change, and if
show
they're
them the salt and the light.
and obviously if they're just trying to argue in bad faith, then just leave it alone. But hey, it stimulates the algorithm, so we'll certainly take it. If you are interested in supporting the podcast, we have a Fourth Wall shop. There's t-shirts, mugs, and some other fun stuff. The link to that is in the description of the episode, whether it's on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you're listening to it. The link is in there. All kinds of good stuff with more to come. Appreciate you all taking the time to listen. No new episode next week because of Christmas. No new episode the following week because of New Year's, but we will be back
Next year.
next year with some all new
See
episodes.
you next year.
Yep, some all new episodes of We Who Endure. Thank you for all the support this year, and we're looking forward to an even better and more successful 2026. Have a Merry Christmas and a happy new year. God bless. We love you guys.